Looking for a session focused on randomized transition? You've come to the right place. What's up guys, my name is Epifania. I'm a USPSA Grandmaster and the owner of Systematic Performance Concepts. In this video we have a follow along dry fire session. So I have a bunch of targets set up here and you guys can follow along with me. So the intention behind this session for me is going to be getting my vision to the right spots, meaning getting my head and eyes to the right targets, and also picking randomized target orders. Randomization training is very good, very useful. Our sport is very novel, meaning that a lot of times the stage that we shoot, we will probably never see again. So adding randomization training into your dry fire training, into your live fire training is going to be tremendously helpful. The intention here is that every time I change, I do a repetition, I change the order or sequence. Just change one thing, change the entire order. You could do it the most common way. You would do it first, and then you start to randomize things. With that said, my intention here is to focus on getting my vision, my head and eyes to the right spots on the targets and soften up my transitions a little bit. So I've worked a lot on building my transitional speed, meaning physical speed from target to target. And now I want to bring some of that precision back in. So within this randomized structure, you can still focus on a skill set. The idea is that you're not doing one repetition the same every single time. So let's get started. So one of the things I do like to use also is a double alpha dry fire magazine. There's some weight to this. There's a little bit of spring pressure, so it feels very similar when you're seating the mag. And if you drop it on the floor, your wife is not gonna murder you when you get home. So on the floor here, speaking of, I have a carpet. So there's a carpet here that's protecting the floor. I personally don't like to, anytime I do drop a mag, I don't like to drop it onto like a pillow or something or stand over a couch, because that, for me, I end up changing my reload to fit that. So I want to make sure that I'm dropping the mag onto a surface that has enough space so that I don't feel the need to change my reload mechanics. Just a little tip there. So let's get started. First thing I want to do, I just want to do left to right and right to left. So right now, we're going to take the reload out of it. I'll add that in later. The intention here is when I get the beep, I'm just going to transition through targets. So we have a couple targets here. I'll take a picture and share it with you guys so you can see what it looks like. This way you guys have an idea of what I'm going on. But we have open target, partial, open target, steel, open target, steel, tuxedo, steel. So we'll start with that. Here we go. Just go left to right first. Just make it simple. Okay, good. I wasn't really worried about a particular part time here, but we'll bring it up. Right to left. Here we go. Okay, raise that up to a 5-second part time. I'm curious if most of these transitions, as you get a little wider, maybe it'll get higher, but the goal 5.2 is what I have it at right now. So let's go into the middle, then to the left and to the right. Good. Really trying to also stop in the middle of the steel. Left, center, right, left. Good. So you can also separate, instead of separating specific targets, you guys can actually separate into sections. So right target, right side, 2 steels and a paper, middle, 2 papers and a steel, left side, partial and an open target. You guys can pick 6 different orders from that. So you can go left, center, right, right, center, left. center, left, right, center, right, left, which is basically what we did right now. And then we'll go right, center, not right, center, left, but we got 2 more orders left. So we can go left, right, center, right, left, center. Those are going to be the 2 that we have left. And this keeps it simple. This keeps it able to be done. Good. 5.2 second part time. We're keeping up with that. Right, left, center. Oh, that's the wrong timer. Used to having doing. Really close there, close there. So you guys get an idea. So you can make it simple. Center, right, left, and just choose the targets which are involved in the center, which are involved in the right, which are involved in the left. In this case, it's very simple, but you could always adjust it. So if I want to do the same kind of setup here, I can make the right targets over here. I can add a 4th target, 2 targets in the center, and 2 targets in the left. Right? So we can do it that way too. So let's plan that out. So this keeps it simple. So let's go. It doesn't actually keep it as simple as I thought it did. So I'm gonna remove that right now. But you guys can play around with that in the sense of the only reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to do an order twice if I don't have to. By rearranging that, even though I've rearranged it, left, center, right, and right, center, left are not exact. They're the same thing that I already did. So I don't want to do that again. In this case, I'm just going to start playing around with different orders. Don't really care what it is. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 targets. So I'm just going to pick an order, go through it one time, and then move on. So we did the center, left, right, and all that. What I'm going to do, steel, paper, 2 parcels, paper over here. Steel, paper, 2 parcels, left side. Keep hitting that button. Here we go. Good. Okay, next, paper, steel, across here, across there. A little behind on that. Took me a little time to see stability on one piece of steel there. Okay, we'll go steel, tuxedo, little steel, steel, paper, and across. Good. Really trying to focus on driving my eyes and driving the gun to the right spots. Parcel, open, steel, 2 opens, and across the left side. The right side, rather. Good. I'm going to paper, steel through here, go across, finish up. Just caught that. I'm watching the dot and I'm really trying to pay attention to how much it moves. So I would like it to be within the margins of the steel, reasonably so it's not traversing out into the edge. That stayed kind of in the middle, but it had a little bit of wiggle to it. So that's why I'm like, okay. So tuxedo, little steel, partial, open, steel, 2 paper. Partial, open, steel, 2 paper, and I finish on the other steel. I think I did that wrong. Tuxedo, steel. No, I did that right. You can see I can get confusing though. Paper, steel, steel, paper, and then finish up left and then right. Paper, steel, steel, paper. You can see as the transitions get a little further, it's harder to also match the time. So that time is there to keep me honest. I'm trying to do the best I can here. So let's go 3 paper, across, and finish up. Oof, just got it. If I can make sure that transition is quick and precise, better off it is. Let's go all paper and then all steel. Got a little hung up there on the tuxedo because I was thinking of steel and shooting one instead of two. All steel and then all paper. Here we go. Everything to the right, steel, everything to the left. Trying to get my vision there. That partial's not terribly tight, but it's tight enough that I really got to put my vision on the A zone line. Try to put the dot there. Let's go partial, steel, then opens. Good. Opens, steel, partials. These are all simple orders. Just a little behind there, put Charlie on there. So you can see it's about making it simple in terms of what you can remember. And then it's practicing the orders. I'm still working on the transitional aspect, getting my head and eyes to the target, getting the gun there, stopping it precisely, pressing the trigger, make sure I hold still long enough that that second shot isn't breaking as I'm moving off the target. Big, big, big help there. But when it comes down to it, you can make it as simple or as complex as you can handle. I would advise starting simpler, building up complexity to the point where you're able to handle it, but it's challenging you, okay? So let's go. 2 steel tuxedo, paper, steel, paper, open, tuxedo, 2 steel, paper, open, open, partial. Good. Really trying to soften up that transition. That was very nice there. Target 3, open target. And now we're going to go far. Now we're going to end up going left and right more. A little bit of movement, excess movement on the first transition there. There's a little streak down. Didn't stop the gun cleanly. Okay, middle. We'll go middle, which is a piece of steel here. Not little, not from where I'm standing, but the idea is it is a piece of steel. We'll start going left and then we'll move on from there. Okay. You guys are starting to get the idea here. You can do this with every single target you have, and then it gets you a different repetition every time. Open piece of paper on the right side of that steel. See, I got even confused in that section. I'm like, where do I go? Took me a second to realize I'm going to that paper there. On the right side now, piece of steel, piece of steel. And we'll go far and then near. Good. A little bit of over transition occasionally there, pushing a little hard. Tuxedo. like how that ended up there. That was fun to finish up close. Start with the widest first, and little piece of steel on the right side. Last one here. Here we go. Good. Designate target, real simple exercise, gives you a lot of repetition. You can actually hear it even just from pushing. I am a little bit out of breath here, which is good. It's a good thing. So now we're going to finish up with adding the reload into it. Idea, do a sequence, reload, do the opposite way, or whatever other sequence you did. Center, right, left, right, that all kind of works out pretty well for this. So we'll start off with that. So we'll go left, center, right, reload, right, center, left. Here we go. Okay. One thing I noticed there, I didn't like, I didn't hold on the last target. Occasionally I get ahead of myself and I start to unload so fast. Not really necessary. So, other way, right, center, left, left, center, right. Good, so I'm gonna make sure I focus on that too. Not that I'm pulling off the target early, because occasionally I've had it where I start to pull off the target early because I'm done, but I'm not actually done and there needs to be an extra shot. Or I pull off the target and I actually move the dot off the target from the center to a bad hit. So that's something to pay attention to. Hold still for that last shot. Okay, we'll go center, right, left, reload, center, left, right. Good. Held still just long enough to know that the dot was stable. The trigger was done being pressed. Center, left, right. Center, right, left. Got a little connected on where I stayed connected because I didn't know where I was going. I forgot. I had a temporary moment where I didn't realize where I was going. That transition to there, I was like, where am I going? And then everything kind of stayed together. Okay, right, left, center, reload. Left, center, left, right, center. Even simple, it's tough to remember sometimes. Still pulled off, I pulled the gun off early, it was fine, but I really would like to keep on the target for a little bit longer at the very end there. Okay, we do right, left, center, reload, left, center, right, center, so we'll do the opposite. Left, right, center. Good. And actually, even better, the mat keeps hitting me on the big toe. So you guys who are doing this barefoot are brave, I'll tell you that. Okay, pick a little bit more of a randomized order, so we'll pick these 3 targets. These 3 targets, these 4 targets, 5 targets, 3 and 5, reload, 5 and 3. Okay, here we go. I didn't love the way the gun was moving around that way. There's a lot of tension there. Not horrible hits, but more tension than I would like to see. Okay, let's do, so we'll go start in the steel and then go around and finish there. Okay, reload there, and around. Starting to steal, around, finish on the right side. Reload, start on the right side, around, finish on steal. Okay, I think I got that. We'll find out. Not exactly the order I intended, but I did kind of do what I intended ending on the steal. Not perfect, but again, when you guys are shooting stages, matches, whatever, it's not always going to be perfect, so being able to roll with it is part of this randomized training, which is really useful. Do a couple more orders here. We'll go all paper, all steel, reload, all steel, all paper. I like that, that's actually a good one. All paper, all steel. Okay, not bad. Saw in a second there, I went to reload early. Caught myself. This minimal preparation to maximize your run really, really helps. It helps you not get overloaded quickly. Hey, something happens, fix it, go right to it. In the end of the day, a lot of what we do is about being able to mitigate any sort of disruption. So disruption is like, hey, I wanted to reload, but I didn't want to reload there. When that happens, your job is to snuff it out quickly, like flush it as quick as possible, get back to what you were doing. Because if you don't get back to what you're doing and you allow that to snowball, that's where we have big problems, okay? A couple more orders here. Partial opens, steal to the middle, reload, steal, the tuxedo, opens partial. Okay, yeah, partial opens, tuxedo, steal. Yep. Thinking about what I said as I'm doing it. Lots of good opportunities in this style training. You guys are going to find this very useful. So we'll do one more here. Steel partial opens, steel tuxedo, tuxedo steel, opens partial steel. Steel tuxedo, right? I don't even remember what I just talked about. Steel partial opens, tuxedo steel, reload, steel tuxedo, opens partial steel. Okay, I think I got it. We'll find out. Good. Okay guys, so that is a transition focused randomized session. Randomization, high trading value. It's going to feel clunky in the moment, but in the long run, the more novel the situation becomes, the more you've trained for this kind of thing. Our sport, especially competitive shooting, right, defensive shooting, all these things, you're never really going to encounter the same experience twice. So being able to focus on the skill sets while being able to randomize the training is going to result in a better performance on the day off. On the day of training, it's probably going to feel clunky and messy, but the idea is over time, you bring more of your skill, and you're able to bring more of your skill in situations that you're uncertain. They did a study on this. I posted in my accelerator forum where single block style training where you're doing the same rep over and over again versus randomized training. The randomized training group, while they were slower in the beginning, like so the single block training, that picked up fast. So skill development, draws, reloads, that kind of thing. That worked out really well in terms of building ability there, right? The block style, the randomized style training took longer to get that skill development up. However, when they tested them in novel situations or a situation that they hadn't practiced a lot of reps on, the randomized group, maintained closer to their best rather than their worst, whereas the single block style, repetition, muscle memory style of training ended up resulting in their performance being worse. And the difference was about 26%. So useful training. I would say at least half your training should be this style in terms of randomizing the repetition. For draws, it could be something as simple as draw on a different target and have the same metric. Lots of options. It's a way that at my point in my training, I do about 80% this style training, 20% of just the single stuff. So it's been highly valuable for me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this follow-along video. Have the best day.